What is up, everybody? We are live with episode 8. And welcome to the Hustle and Grow Show. So, this is the ultimate podcast for ambitious and individuals who are ready to supercharge their personal and professional growth. Whether you are a seasoned entrepreneur, a budding creative, or someone looking to level up in life, this podcast is your one-stop destination for inspiration, insights, and actionable strategies to help you thrive in today's fast-paced world. I am your host and fellow entrepreneur, Alexis Talent. I am the owner of the Sure Future Insurance. So my job is to help people find affordable health coverage, protect your health, and secure your future. So I just wanted to send a quick reminder to everyone watching. If you have not clicked the link in the description of this event on Facebook in the group, you have to go on StreamYard with that link and give them access in order for your name to pop up when commenting on the live. So don't forget to do that. Now, since we're live every Tuesday, I always share my Tuesday tip of the week to start off with. The tip I have for you today is all about networking and learning, okay? Don't operate in isolation, okay? Connect with other business owners, attend conferences, participate in, local or online business communities. Just the opportunity to share experiences and insights can lead for you to have more and fresh ideas. Because not everybody thinks the same. So having a second perspective and a second set of hands to help you is always going to help you in the world of business. So today's guest is Nycole, and she is the owner of a nonprofit organization where she, hairstylist called WAAVE is her organization. And what she does is she provides services for people who are victims and survivors of domestic abuse and violence. So, Nycole, welcome today. Go ahead and give us your 30,000 foot overview of who you are and give us your Tuesday tip for our viewers.
All right, so I'm Nycole. I am the founder and president of WAAVE. WAAVE stands for We Are Against Violence Everywhere. I have been a hairdresser for 20 years. I am a survivor of domestic violence and childhood abuse, so I know all about abuse. And then being a hairdresser, everyone knows your hairdresser is also your therapist, so I'm there for that too. And so my Tuesday tip of the day is never tell a abused person to leave their abuser. And it sounds really weird because, yes, they don't need to be with the abuser, but if you tell them to leave the abuser, it's going to push them closer to the abuser and further from you. When I was in the abuse, I had family members and friends constantly telling me I didn't deserve it, I needed to leave, all this stuff, but it just pushed me closer to him. And it alienated them from me. And what they need to hear at that time is how much you love them and how valuable they are to you. And that will show them that they deserve more than what they're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's a hard subject to even talk about sometimes for people. And the more that people feel like they're being against, like their friends and family are kind of against them and not really like supporting them, it makes it harder for you to even get out of that situation. So Well said. Very well said. So, Miss Nycole, could you kind of give us a little bit about your journey, like when you started as a hairstylist and kind of what I know you kind of gave us the 3,000 already, but what inspired you to say, you know what, I'm going to take the leap and combine my experience with hairstyling and how I can talk and help and spread awareness for others?
So I started doing hair when I was 10. My mom never took me and my sisters to the salon. She would cut our hair in the kitchen, and my hair was always long, so she would braid it, and she would pull so tight, and when she was done, the braid was loose. I'm like, I don't understand why you're pulling and why the braid is still loose. And so I taught myself how to braid, and then it all started from there. I would braid everyone's hair, and then in middle school, I was cutting people's hair. In high school, I was coloring their hair. I've always loved hair. My parents were actually against me being a hairdresser because they said there's no money in it. But to me, it's not about the money. I love what I do, and I have a passion for what I do, and God gave me the natural talent and creativity for it. And so that has just really put me in it. Instead of paying $500 to do it in high school, I had to pay 20 years ago, I had to pay $9,000. Now it's up to like 30. But 20 years later, I'm still paying that $9,000 loan. But so I was doing hair. I've always wanted to do my own salon. I've had different images to doing it. And it's always been something blocking me. And now I know it was God blocking me because that's not the path He wanted for me. And I started realizing that God puts things in your path to grow you in certain areas. So I fully believe the abuse that I went through, it was only a limited time. It wasn't as severe as a lot of people have gone through, which I'm not at all discrediting what I went through because it was still traumatic. But I believe God allowed me to go through that to develop compassion for the women that are also going through it, and sometimes men.
Yeah,
I put the two together. I'm a hairdresser / therapist, and I can help other people that have been through the same thing as me and help them to recover. And I fully believe your hair, especially for women, your hair is your identity. And that's why they say you change your man, you change your hair, because it's a different part of your life. You change your hair. And so
I didn't
that's my
even think
thing.
about
I
that.
want to help the women like get over that trauma by fixing their hair, making them who they are, and helping them get ready for jobs. Because usually in abusive relationships, they don't allow you to have a job because then they can hit you and leave bruises and they don't have to worry about anyone seeing it. So being able
Yeah,
to get a job, you have to look the part. And whenever you're trying to get a job, you don't have the money. So doing the free makeovers is really important.
I love that. And exactly what you said. I can relate on the same scale. I'm a victim as well. Actually, just pretty recently, and I fully believe I would not have been where I am now if I hadn't went through that experience. I mean, we talked about it a little bit yesterday on a post I made about compassion and how having empathy kind of ties along with the pain that you've endured.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that so true for my own experience as well. And I'm so happy that you are providing such a safe space and help for people, because when something like that happens, it's very traumatic and it's going to leave a lasting impression on somebody. But to have you to be there to help pick up the pieces right off the bat is something that not a lot of people have the chance or opportunity for. So what you're doing is absolutely amazing, incredible. And I'm so happy that I got to meet you and hear all about it. I'm sure our viewers are listening and wondering, like, wow, I want to know it. How can I support? So that's my goal with you being here today, spreading that awareness.
Yes.
So let me ask you, because I don't really know how the ins and outs of a nonprofit work. So could you kind of tell us about like how you are able to provide services being a nonprofit?
So the beginning of a nonprofit is the hardest part. I'm actually still in the beginning phases of it because of it being so difficult. To be a nonprofit, you have to have a board of at least 3 people. And someone had actually mentioned something to me that I hadn't thought about, that being a part of my board, because I'm not technically an owner, I'm just the president, I could be voted off of my own board. And I didn't even think of that. I'm like, I've really got to have people on the board that I trust, that even if we have a falling out, they're not going to vote me off because they know this is mine. And
Right.
so that's the very first thing you have to have is board members that you trust. And then you have to have the bylaws, and all of that has to be approved. And then you go through the state to get all the legal stuff. And that's where I'm at right now. I have to file for my 501c3, which makes it official nonprofit through the government.
Oh,
And
wow.
that is what most people have to have. Right now, I'm working on getting it because it's not cheap. To file it yourself, it's only like $300. That's the government fee. But if for any reason it gets denied or kicked back, that money is non-refundable. So you just do away $300. And doing it that way, you have to wait 6 months for it to be active.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's
you kind of
crazy.
you have to have all of this, like essentially this documentation, all of the legalities kind of started before you can even really operate, essentially, right?
Yes.
So that's a lot. And
Yes.
I mean, someone that's never done it before, I mean, what would you recommend them to do in order to get all of that information settled?
So
Is there
one
like
thing that
ways
I
or
did that was super important to me, there's a organization that is also a nonprofit. It's called SCORE. I use the Dallas campus. They have classes, but they also link you up with mentors that help you for free. So my mentor gave me all the step by step things that I needed to do, and it was so much help. And then they also have different classes that you can do online or in person. And it's not just for nonprofit, it's for any kind of business. It helps you with all the legalities of it and knowing what to do. They have financial classes. They've got like help with getting loans, any kind of class you would possibly need as a business owner, they have.
Wow. I love
They
that.
are
I've
such
never
an
heard that.
important asset.
So it's called SCORE.
SCORE,
You can go on there.
SCORE.
That's awesome. I'm always looking at, new things I can try to learn and gain knowledge about. So having a consolidated place where you can learn, that's awesome. I've never heard of SCORE. I'm happy you shared that with us. So
they also have
now,
the SBA, I think it is. They have similar classes and they're also free.
What's
the
SBA?
Small Business Association.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that at all. So in terms of your nonprofit, what are all the services that you do provide for your domestic survivors?
So once I have everything up, my next step is getting my 501c3 active. And then I have a company that's already promised me an RV, but I have to have that 501c3 for it to be a tax write-off. And then I have another company that's going to retrofit it into a salon for me. I have another company that's donating all of the products that I need. So I have all of that lined out once I have my 501c3. So then my next plan is I will have paid clients, but their money that they pay will be known as a donation, and it'll go towards the survivors getting their free makeovers. And I will go to the different battered women's shelters, or I'll have a designated place where they can bring them to me, because those shelters are very, very secure. I went to one time and I had to meet the people at the police station, and they drove me to the shelter. They couldn't give me the address because it's that secure.
Wow.
And so I'll have to set it up with them to do the makeovers and everything. But I'll have an RV with everything in it.
I love that, because I was wondering how it was going to work. Like if they were like, they come to you, or that's amazing that you're going to be able to be mobile and like go to where they're most safe at,
Yes.
That like a remote location basically where you can go and provide your services. That is amazing. And I know you said that you have paid clients that do donations for, but is there also anything else like that we could donate or like raise money for, like separately from the paid clients?
Yeah, anyone can donate at any time. I actually just set up a donation website yesterday. I'm not fully finished with that yet, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. But I'm also selling puppies. I have an ESA dog, and she just had puppies recently, and I did plan her pregnancy for this. And so I'm selling the puppies to use to pay for my nonprofit status.
I love that. I told her
puppies. Everyone loves huskies.
So cute. We had the trunk and treat event, and they brought the puppies up to the trunk and treat event, and they're literally the size of your hand. They're so tiny and cute still. I don't have the pictures up right now, but I was going to say we could post them in the comments shortly after we get off of here. That way you guys can see all the puppies. I mean, they're literally adorable. And that's a great idea to raise money as well. I mean, who doesn't want a pup?
Yes. And we're going to be doing a lot of the basic training. We're planning on potty training, crate training, on and off leash training, and the beginning of ESA training. And because their mom is ESA, she will already be training the puppies herself. So they will be with her for 8 to 10 weeks, which is, they're a week old now, so a little bit less now, but they will already have the natural training from their mom, and we're going to do extra. So they're not just regular puppies. They're trained, and you can take them with you anywhere.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I wish I could have a puppy, but I am renting, so I'm not allowed to with my lease.
They can't tell you can't have an ESA. Legally, they can't tell you. They can't charge you, and they can't refuse you. As long as you have the paperwork showing it's an ESA, they cannot refuse you.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. Well, I mean, I guess I kind of knew that essentially, but I wasn't sure. I mean, because I feel like the reason why is because the landlords, they like high allergic to dogs. And so that might not work, because essentially they have to still come over and work on the house. So if they were to be around dogs, they could like be a health risk,
Yeah. Under that, I would understand with it being an allergy, but legally they can't tell you no. So for any other reason, they couldn't tell you no. But I do understand it's more that you're doing it out of respect for them, and that's good. But with you being a survivor, you need emotional support also. And animals, I fully believe God gave us pets because they're the only ones that truly know unconditional love. I don't think most humans are capable of it, and we need it.
Facts. My son has he's going through this little stage where he's not doing so well at regulating his emotions, like every toddler boy goes through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always wanted to get him like a puppy, like an emotional support animal that will be able to kind of help him kind of process his emotions and calm him down, because he's kind of like me. He's very high energy. And I know that the come downs and all the emotions can be hard to process. So I feel like if he had like a little companion, like that's my goal to work towards soon, is getting him a little companion to help him.
Well, mine will be ready the week before Christmas.
JJ said, I kind of like animals. He's the one that we had on the podcast. He does the proven dog training. Love that. So can you tell us, as a leader in this field of you being the president of the nonprofit, so how do you stay motivated and continue to grow personally and professionally while managing not just your nonprofit, but you also have a landscaping company with your husband and you have children? So how do you do it all?
Super mom.
Literally.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I keep the motivation because I have a passion for what I do. And right now I'm working just a regular job to pay bills at a salon, of course. But talking to my clients here, it reminds me how much what I'm doing is needed. And whenever I'm promoting my business and talking to people about it, I knew it was a big deal about domestic violence, but I never realized how big it was until I started talking to people. I'll be talking to people and they'll tell me their story. And I'm like, I had no idea you went through that. Like, you can't tell. It's almost, I would say more than half the women had been abused. And it's so crazy. It's so much needed. And it just keeps that fire in me to keep going.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but it is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month as well.
Yes, it is.
So I feel like sometimes it gets kind of lost, and having multiple avenues and ways to spread awareness is so essential, because I know I've had so many conversations with women who just don't really have the desire or the courage to really talk about their experiences. And I know me personally, when I go to my hairstylist, I don't care what we're talking about. I'm talking about everything, like you said. Mm-hmm. And some people just don't have the, capability or courage essentially to go seek, help or therapy. But the fact that you're able to provide them with that like safety net and security and confide in people, and they can confide in you, I think that is so essential, because like I've mentioned, not a lot of people even really know that it's Domestic Awareness Month. And the more people that are coming in and seeing what you're doing and really kind of spreading that awareness, so it's not just you having to spread the awareness, I think is going to be so crucial for WAAVE. Yes. And I love what your name stands for, by the way. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yes, and we're creating waves.
I love that. Just putting ripples in everything. Let's go.
Yes.
Break the chains, break the system. Let's turn the stigma around, literally. I love that. I love that so much, because it is hard to talk about, and it's not a fun subject to talk about, but the more that people see it kind of being less taboo and more mainstream is really going to be crucial.
Yes. And I've always been very much a Christian and for the Bible. And one of my absolute favorite verses, one of my pastors had said it one time, and it's like fireworks went off. It fit me so well. And it's that you're saved by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. Because as survivors, we all have a testimony, and usually the enemy will hold it against us and make us ashamed of what we went through, even though we had no control over it. So whenever you're telling your testimony, you're breaking that the enemy has no control over you.
Absolutely.
So important.
That's really what the enemy's job is to diminish and destroy anything that's going to bring light and love.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you are putting those enemies away and just speaking your truth, you can't have anyone that's going to be like, that's not your truth. How are you?
Right.
This is my story, and I'm sharing it to help others. So
Yes.
I'm here for you. I advocate with you. Keep telling your story. Keep helping others. I love to see it every single time I get on social media. I look for your post every time. So tell
Awesome.
me, um, I have we're on like our 10-minute mark. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the closing question here. So can you share a piece of advice or like a mantra that's you kind of essentially just did, but something that's really guided you throughout your entire career that you would like to pass on? Is there anything else, or is that kind of the same that we just kind of talked about with that Bible verse?
Kind of all of it, really, but just as a career, especially for young people, like there's, all of my friends are in their 40s, and I tell people they still don't know what they want to be when they grow up. Like by 40, you should be grown up, but we still don't know what we want to be when we grow up. But I'm so thankful that God showed me at a young age what I wanted to be. But I think the thing that helped me the most is money was never the focus. I don't care how much money I make in this industry. I want to do what I love. And if you do what you love, you never have to work a day in your life. And so, especially for the young people, don't focus on the money, because if you're happy, the money will come. Do what makes you happy.
Absolutely. I literally relate to that so heavily because I went to college and I was like, I'm gonna go be a doctor. So I got my degree in biomedical science. I get out of college and I'm like, just kidding, I'm not gonna be a doctor. What am I gonna do? I ended up in education. Now I'm in insurance, doing podcasting. It's like it's so crazy to see how every little step you take throughout your career, throughout your life, it's going to lead you to the next thing that you're meant to do, right?
Yes.
So for you, what you're passionate about, what you love, and then being able to tie it in as you go along the way to help others, that's
Yes.
amazing. That's amazing. I
Thank
love
you.
that. Can you tell me what WAVE stands for again? I wanted to hear it again.
We are against violence everywhere.
I love that. I love that. And I'm going to put it up here on the screen real quick. Will you tell us where everyone can find you online for us?
So on Facebook and on Instagram, it is Aristotle Salon, all one word. It's like Aristotle, but Aristotle.
I love that. Aristotle. And I did not know how to spell it, by the way. How to fix the typos. So, Nycole, anything else that you would like to kind of share with our listeners today? Any upcoming exciting events? I know you're selling the puppies. What can we summarize? What's coming? What's next?
So as soon as I sell a couple of the puppies, I will have my 501c3, and I'm going through LegalZoom. It should only take 30 days for it to be active, and then I'm just going to keep on moving forward because I've got it all lined out. I'm just waiting for that last thing. Things are really going to start
It kind
moving
of cut
fast.
out a little bit. I didn't hear what you had said in the beginning because it kind of cut out just a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry.
I had said that the next step is just getting the 501c3. And then once I have that, after I sell a couple of the puppies, everything's going to keep moving like lightning speed.
Like literally, because it's going to be mobile.
Yes. But I have everything lined out. So once I have that, it's like step, 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 keep on going.
I'm so excited to see it. I mean, I don't know what your vision is, but like for me, I'm kind of picturing it. Like I just see this like really cute RV that's going to come up. It's probably going to be super colorful and fun like you are. And it's going to be like really bright and bold, maybe. I don't know. But it's just like, I'm
Yes.
so excited to see for the future what you do as well. Like ever since I met you at the dinner party with the Plug Hub, I was like, man, I love what she's doing, literally, because it had happened to me so recently that I didn't really like process it yet. And now, like talking to you more and hearing more about what you're doing, it's just amazing, literally. Like,
Yes, and
couldn't be
Plug
more
Hub is so
thankful.
awesome too, with all the connections that I've made with them. I absolutely love that group. It is amazing, and I love that it's like family, because being an abuse survivor, you need that community, and that's what they provide. And I love Plug Hub.
I do too. As soon as I met Jordan and Chasen, I was like, this is amazing, because I didn't even know how to start any type of, like Facebook group or community. And essentially what we had talked about when I first met them is me being a single mom. It's like it takes a village, and I come to find out that's like literally their like logo, or not logo. What is that called? Slogan. There we go. So it's really cool that we've gotten to collaborate like with the Hustle Hub and the Plug Hub together with them, and just meeting everyone that's in y'all's community as well, and having y'all join here in the Hustle Hub as well. It's been so amazing. I love everything that we're doing together.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, Miss Nycole, we're about to jump off here. It's been literally an absolute pleasure having you here today. Could not be more thankful for you coming on here. And I hope to continue doing this podcast as long as possible. So it's really you guys that are watching, and you that are taking the time out of your day to come interview with me. I hope to keep providing a space of support and a platform and an audience for people. So if you see in the corner at the top, that's where we're located at on all of the social media. If you like what we do here on the Hustle Hub, Hustle and Grow Show, give us a like and a follow, share with everyone. I mean, Nycole has some amazing things that she's happening that's going to be full swing here eventually, coming up soon. So let's share the word, guys. Let's spread the awareness, literally.
Yes.
Word of mouth is so important.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again, Nycole, and thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous Tuesday. Nycole, anything else we'd like to share?
Oh, Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. I love it. Well, I'm going to have you stay on after I hit this end right here. So thank you again, everybody, and happy Tuesday.
Bye.